It's a little bit like this. You know how in like martial art, at first you learn the form.
Yeah.
You got to kind of learn the script and kind of the line. But once you learn it, you need to flow, right? So I teach you the form, the kata first, right? And then you kind of flow. So first you learn it, you master it, then you forget it. So then I have no techniques, so I can use all the techniques. Does that make sense? Right? So let's try that. Let's say at the end, say, you know what, Dan, that sounds good, but I need to think about it.
You know what, Dan, that sounds good, but I need to think about it.
You know what, Zen, I respect that. Usually when people say that to me, they will not think about it. What they mean is no. Isn't this the case here? You're just trying to be nice.
Yeah,
you don't want to hurt
I'm
my
just
feelings.
trying to be nice.
Yeah. Before I get off the phone, it doesn't sound like we're going to be working together. Can I ask you a question before you go?
Sure.
It's the money, isn't it?
It's totally the money.
Tell me how I can solve this problem.
Well, Dan, I had certainty.
What would it take for me or for you to feel certain?
Maybe we could get started and sort of have like a trial, see where that would go.
Explain to me what you have in mind, because I'm confused.
So the amount of money you're asking for there is just like, if I risk that, right?
Yes.
Then, I don't want to look stupid. So I'd really like to know that what you're bringing to the table is actually going to work and add value. And, I could do it, but I'm having a hard time thinking about the amount of money you're asking.
Again, what would it take for you to feel more comfortable? Like, you mean like a trial? Like, how do you envision that work?
Yeah, like you just start helping me, for free. And then as it gets really good, then obviously it's going to work out.
Zhang, what you're asking me is, you go to a restaurant, you have the food, and you tell the owner, well, I'll see how my bowel movement goes, then I'll pay you.
No, I don't feel like that's what I'm asking for.
Okay, so what are you asking for?
I think I'm feeling like, developing that relationship a little bit more is going to give me the certainty that you can actually deliver what you say you can.
Xavier, I think you've seen a lot of the case studies that we have, right? If you want, you can talk to some of them. But it sounds to me it's not the money. It sounds to me mentally you're not quite ready to make the leap of faith. And even though if I can provide you support, chances are you're not going to be all in. I work with people who are all in. So tell you what, why don't I give you some training here that doesn't cost anything, right? Take your time, go through it. When your situation changes, while ready to go all in, give me a call back. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Off the role play. Like, I can't twist his arm and convince and all that. But it's not about what I do. It's mentally not there, right? It's like, I don't know, like he's got a lot of lower self stuff going on, right? I'm not going to change that. So I say, hey, here's some stuff. Have at it. Have fun. And then if you're ready, then give me a call back. And if my whatever value I'm providing, like this, the free stuff, it's like, oh, you know what? It's good. He might call me back. How many people call you back, right? A couple months later, say, yeah, man, I'm ready. I want to do this. So it happens all the time. It's not pressure. It's not anything like that. Like you're picking up the phone, you're asking questions, and you're closing. High ticket, high ticket, high ticket, just like that. Most prospects, right, they are irresponsible. It means inability to respond, right? So they're like, I'm not so, like Xavier, right? We're like, oh, I don't know. Like, I want to do this. Like they can't respond, right? They lack the ability to respond. Most of the time, when we get the objection, hey, I can't afford it, right? Or they say, I don't have the money, it's not within my budget. Now, sometimes that might be the case. Most of the time, it's not true. A lot of neo mentees, they tend to take it and they become so mechanical, so robotic that it doesn't flow. Like, it's like, okay, if a punch comes this way, you should block this way, and you should like, you know what I mean? But when someone changes the punch a little bit, they get hit. Does that make sense? Right? So, but they say, oh, because people love lines, scripts. It's not about that. Even I say it's not about that, you will still want it. Because you think that will solve your problem. Doesn't solve, you don't have the identity. I can close because I have the identity. It's everything, the words, the tonality, my body language, everything I say, I do, I project, they're congruent. Does that make sense? Or you can't just use the word, but it's not who you are. It does not work. That role play, if I'm like, you can see like I'm not attached. He and I could say exactly the same thing, you would have different result. Because that certainty or what energy you bring to the conversation is just different, right? Say this with me. How long would it take to get into a position to afford it? But you have to. You gotta say it. You gotta mean it. You gotta say it in a way that's not attached. Not, okay, let me do it the wrong way. So, how long would it take you to get in the position to afford it? It needs to be like, so how long would it take for you to get in a position to afford it? You see the tonality, right? So write this down. It's never ever about the money and it's never about affording it.